Hi, I'm Peter Kalmstrom of kalmstrom.com Business Solutions. In this demonstration, I will continue on the recurring tasks in SharePoint solution that I started in the last demo. And in that demo, I set up two lists, one task templates and one task to do. And as you see, two of these tasks are to be done on a regular interval, one every 15 days, once every 3 days. But the next date is today. So of course, these two should be copied over into the tasks to do list over here. And that's what I'm going to write a flow to do now. So let's jump into the Powerapp app so that we can create our flow. So I'm going to start with create here, and I'm going to create a scheduled cloud flow because this is going to run every morning, daily tasks, and it's going to run at 7 a.m. starting tomorrow. And then it's going to run every day. So let's just scroll down here to 7 a.m. Before the day started, the tasks should be done there. So once every day. Now I create that. And then we're going to just rename this action here. Just rename it daily so that we can see directly how often this runs. So next I'm going to initialize a variable. And the variable name is going to be current template next date, and that's going to be a string. I'm going to be working with dates here. There's no variable of the date format, so I'm going to use a string instead. That also actually helps me a lot. So I'm going to rename this also, that action right there, so that we know what's going on. And then I'm going to get the items in the templates list. Get SharePoint items. There we go. Get items, there we go. And then I'm going to get those from the communication site. That's the only one I have in this tenant so far, the task templates. And now, of course, I'm not going to have a lot of templates in here. So I'm not going to need to do a filter query, but Powerapp will nag me if I don't. So I'm just going to do a filter query here that actually always works. So that's ID greater than 0. That filter always, of course, because all items will have an ID greater than 0. And I'm going to rename this to get templates. And the next thing I'm going to do now is just set that variable to check what the next date is for this item. And when I do this, when I set the variable of this get current next date to that next date, when I do that, this is going to get wrapped into a loop. So there we have a loop, because of course I will have many templates. So this is going to happen within the loop. So that loop got created automatically. Loop templates, just name that too. And then we're setting this variable. So let's do that too. Rename this action. Set that variable that I still copied. Now, so I'm going to do a condition. If this next date, that one. So now that will contain the current date in ISO in UTC format. And I can compare that now to UTC now in the expression. That gives me the current time. So I'm just going to get the first 10 digits of that. First 10, starting with 0, going to 10. Right. So that gives me the date in ISO format. So this is going to work. Not equal to, but contains. That's the query that we want to do. Now, if this is yes, if this is a task that is due today, that is supposed to be done today, then I'm going to create an item. There we go, create an item. And I'm going to create that in the communication site and in that tasks to do list, right? And I'm going to fill out the title of that list and just get the title from the template. And then that's done. So I'm going to create the task here. And then, now when I run this, I'm going to save and run this, and I should get 2 of these tasks done in the task to do list, right? So test that, run the flow. So now the flow is running. Let's go over to the communication site and go to the task to do. And there they are. Okay, great. So if I run this again now, or if it runs again tomorrow morning, then these are not going to be created. They're actually never going to be created again, because the next date is always going to be the 5th of December, right? So now we need to update that and add the number of days. So let's do that. Let's go into the flow and add another one. So I'm going to update the SharePoint item. There we go, update SharePoint item there. And the item we want to update is, of course, the one in the communication site and the task templates with the ID that we've been working with. So the ID of the template, right? Now we're going to get the value of this item plus the number of days. So I'm going to have to build a rather complex expression here. I'm going to put that in the description of the video. So it's going to be addDays, and I'm going to add the number of days from the items. So, and it's going to be LoopTemplates, and it's going to be the value of NextDate. It's the internal name of the column, and I'm just going to add the interval, and then end parentheses, and then we are done. So let's press OK there. Almost done. Let's see. Am I missing a parentheses? Yes, I probably am, right? So there we go. That's the formula. So let's now run this again, and we'll see what happens. So the task to do, of course, will be created one more time. So I'm going to remove these items here. Of course, I need to set the title again. Let's set that title from the template. I don't want to change that, but it's mandatory, so that's why I need to do that. So again, let's test this now. So now it's looping the templates and creating. Yes, and we got an error here, and that is that the addDays expects an integer, but it got a float, so we need to convert that to an int also. As I said, this is a slightly complex formula, or quite a bit complex actually. So let's do this and just modify that. Okay, let's see. Again, I will put this formula in the description, so no worries. Int, like that. That should do it. So let's test it again. So now my flow is running, and it should be creating those items. So now the flow did run successfully, and of course I did get my new tasks here, and I also get the templates updated. So now the next time that this is happening by daily is the 7th, and the one 15 days is the 20th. So that is exactly what we wanted. Thank you for watching this demo.